Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I got a new camera! I don't know if you can tell. I definitely got a new camera and I'm so excited to use it. So I didn't really have a plan for this video today. It was kind of like I got home and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at my face. My makeup is breaking apart from, wearing my mask. I just want to show you guys how I kind of like take care of all my problematic areas throughout the day once they start getting like oily or whatever. Like some of my makeup on my nose is coming off. I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah, you can see. Like I'm oily, it's breaking apart. So I'm going to go ahead and fix all that. I'm going to show you how you fix it. So to start off, I already have like a lighter foundation on. I'm actually using the Milk Sunshine Skin Tint. I really like this, which is really crazy because I do not like light coverage whatsoever. Zeke is playing on the floor with his toy, so apologies already. Went ahead and scooted you guys in here. So the first thing that I notice is that my foundation is really oily in this area, and my foundation is coming up on my nose and where I was wearing sunglasses over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that first. So what I've been using lately to kind of like control the oil is the Kosas, this is the Airy Cloud Set. And it's just like a little compact. I'm not gonna lie, this doesn't really give off a lot of powder, and that's why I like it, because you don't want something super heavy. Like you don't want to be putting the Coty Airspun on your face. Like this is kind of just to soak up some of the oil. And I am oilier because I didn't fully set my makeup. I tried it for the first time and I kind of liked it. I mean, my makeup has been on since 7 o'clock this morning. Okay, so I'm just taking my Blendiful here. And I'm just going to dip it in here, and I'm just going to start slightly pressing it onto my face. So currently, I'm not really looking for coverage. I'm just looking to soak up the oil. And what I am noticing about this is that because I didn't put so much coverage on my face originally, it's not looking cakey, which is really nice. Okay, so once I do that, I like to kind of just pat to make sure that I have soaked up all the oil. And you don't have to be completely dry. Again, this is kind of just to take down the shine and, prep it for when we put a little bit more coverage on it. I can still see my skin through my nose. This is kind of just to take care of the oil. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is, this is where the coverage part comes in. So yeah, you guessed it. I'm gonna be using a powder foundation. I usually like to use my MAC Studio Fix powder foundation, but I've been in love with the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear powder foundation here. So this is in the shade Pearl. What I'm going to do is, with a flat brush right here, I'm just going to tap into it, and then I'm going to tap off the excess, and again, I'm just going to be patting in the areas I need it. You can see my rosacea coming through here because I didn't use a lot of coverage. I'm usually really self-conscious about it coming through. You can even see it coming through a little bit right in here. But I want to try something new today. Don't worry about your nose looking cakey if you feel like this powder foundation is going to be the death of you. I'm going to show you how we can bring it back to life. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm going to be actually taking a bigger brush. And this is just a nice flat top fluffy brush, and I'm going to go back into that powder foundation, and I'm just going to do a few dabs, tap off the excess, and now I'm going to pat all over my face just because I can see my bronzer is kind of breaking up a little bit, so I'm going to freshen it up. What I love about this is that this blends everything together. It does dilute it, but I like it because it allows me to create a new like bronzer line where my blush is going to be, everything like that. So you can see how it kind of just blended everything together. And again, this is just my rosacea coming out, okay? But I think it looks really pretty the way it's kind of just like diluted, it's not completely hidden. Okay, so now I'm pretty much just gonna go through and do a slightly like brush of my bronzer and my blush just to kind of, it's like we're putting it on for the first time, but it's nice because I have outlines here. I didn't put a lot of powder foundation on, so I wanted to keep where I had my bronzer. Now I'm just kind of making it darker and intensifying it. So for this, I just want a bronzer, so I'm using the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. And for blush, I'm going to be using the Laura Geller. This is the Baked Blush in Brighten. This is very, very shiny. And this is in the color Tropic Hues. I'm going to dab a little bit up here just to bring it all together. So as you can see, my face is very, like, it's blended. You know, the bronzer isn't breaking up anywhere weird. Everything just looks smooth again. And I'm not gonna lie, I am not as dewy as I was this morning, but that's why I'm like really, as I'm like, you know, cleaning up my routine here, I'm really figuring out that that's what's so beautiful about not putting a lot on in the morning, because I am full coverage to the max. So it's really nice to be able to put on a little bit more and not feel and have that heavy full coverage on my face. So the next thing I do is, just because, you know, I do touch my face and my brow hairs get weird, I'm just going to recomb through my brow hairs. I comb them up and I just let them sit there, and then I kind of move on to the next step. So for me, I was playing with a cream eyeshadow today, so I can see that it's breaking apart a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and touch that up, and I'll be right back for you. Okay, so I went ahead and finished up my eyes. So after that, that's enough time for me to go ahead and comb through my brows again. And this time, I'm going to be shaping them more than I was. So this next thing is, there's two ways of doing it. So for your eyelashes, you can either go through and recurl them, okay, so that they are nice and curly, and then put a thin layer mascara over them. Or you can do what I like to do sometimes, is I just take my finger underneath them and I just pull them back and I wiggle them around a little bit. Again, I just pull them back, like push them down my lid and kind of just wiggle them back and forth. I like doing this because I always feel like when I use my eyelash curler after I already have mascara on, I'm always pulling out eyelashes. So I like doing this. This is just my way of doing it. Again, I gave you two ways of doing it, so you can totally use your eyelash curler if it doesn't bother your eyelashes. But for me, this works, and I just prefer it more. So once I've kind of like zhuzhed them up, I'm going to go ahead and use my mascara that I used this morning, which is the L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black. And I'm just going to be taking this at the top, wiggling it and pulling it up. The top, wiggling it and pulling it up. So onto my bottom lashes now. Like in the morning when I'm initially applying it, I use a really small brush. So I use my MAC Extended Gigaplay lash, and I like this because it gets in there, but now I'm trying to bring it back to life, so I am going to be using my bigger wand that I use for the top. And for this, again, I'm going to, just like the tops, I'm putting on the end and kind of pulling it down a little bit and coming down. And that's all I really do for mascara, because I don't really wear false lashes. So let me go ahead and let's do some highlight, and then we're going to bring everything back to life. So for this, I'm going to be first using my Milk Makeup. This is in Lit, and this is just their cream highlight. It's so pretty. Look at that. Yeah. And then I'm going to be putting a powder over it. So I'm just using a fluffy, thin brush here. I'm just going to be patting it in. Now I'm putting this all over the places where I would want my regular highlight. Okay, now that I have that, I'm going to be going over top with the powder just because I kind of still want to look wet on my cheeks, but I still want to make sure that it's set. So I'm going to be going in with my Lancome Absolute powder, and this is in the shade Absolute Peach. I'm just going in with a fluffy cheek brush. And for this, I'm just going to be setting it on top. Just like that. And I like this because it's not super blinding, but it enhances, your cheeks like crazy. And it's really allowing that Milk makeup cream highlight to come through, and I love that. So this next step, I'm going to be taking a dewier setting spray. So this is the Elsie, the Hydra Enhancer, the Alkaline Face Mist. I'm going to be spraying a damp beauty sponge, and I'm just going to tap it off so it's not soaking wet, and I'm going to be pressing it in. Okay, you guys, so this is what I would do if I was going out, but obviously I'm not. And this is more of like a simpler routine. Again, I know there was a few steps in there. Some of them you can totally skip over. Like if you're, you know, not wearing cream eyeshadow, your eyeshadow might be totally just fine. But I had to do it, and I ended up doing more to it, but what else is new? But yeah, touching up your makeup can be super, super simple. You can get it down to a routine. I even have a bag in my purse that I keep in there of my essentials when I need to touch up my makeup. But for today, I didn't want to touch it up because I wanted you guys to see what it looked like and, you know, what the after is of what it can come from. But yeah, let me know if you guys like this. This took me like 15 minutes, not even. And I'm sitting here like taking my time. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. This is my secret on how to refresh your makeup. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button below, and I'll see you in my next one. See ya.